Hello, it's me again, the buyer, and we're back in the last episode of the Might Motors campaign here in Automation and BeamNG. We are sitting in the new Cleres, the best car in the world, with 100 prestige, 100 comfort, a mighty 10-liter V16, and what seems to be like a quite squishy suspension. Actually, it has an active suspension designed for maximum comfort. It probably doesn't translate to BeamNG very well, so it should be better than what it looks like. And it is maybe a bit too powerful for a luxury vehicle, but the halo car it is. It needs to be powerful, it needs to be quick, and it definitely shows here. We are a bit in a hurry because we are late for a car meet we want to visit, and therefore we smash it a bit. It's been a long journey along these 20 episodes of the Might Motors campaign, and I'm very happy that many people joined me along the way. So thank you very much for that, and I'm pleased that we made it to the end, but I'm also looking forward to new adventures. So let's finish this campaign within this episode and get on going with whatever lies ahead of us. We are getting closer to the car meet now, and I wanted to use this episode to look back and see what we have achieved. Take another look at the cars, and I can already see the location of the car meet approaching. And look, it's almost every Cleres there ever has been. It's a Mark I, a Mark II, first generation real Cleres. The second generation is missing somehow. The third generation is there, and we're driving the fourth generation. And let's take a look also at the other models and see how they have evolved. Here we have the Evan, the first and second generation. The first generation was a bit more utilitarian with a 6-liter V10 ranging between 280 and 500 horsepower. It had a ute version, the one we see right here, and then also a closed body SUV and a panel van, which was quite successful. The panel van had the non-turbocharged 280 horsepower engine, and the ute and SUV had the 500 horsepower version. The same engine was also carried over into the second generation, but their power was raised to 700 horsepower. The van version was axed, and we just had the ute as seen here, and the ultimate version, which was the luxurious top level trim of this model. The next one in line is the Winley, our entry-level model, which started off as kind of a sleeper, a car which was a bit cheap looking, but under the hood it had a 1.5 liter V12, the Eco V12 as we know it. In the first generation with 50 horsepower, in the second iteration with 80 horsepower. And this engine was then abandoned for the second generation. The cylinder count was halved to 6, a V6 engine was mounted with a naturally aspirated 69 horsepower 1 liter engine, and in the facelift then raised to 75 horsepower. And then for the third and final generation, cylinder count was halved again. It was an inline 3 turbocharged 1 liter with 130 horsepower, and in the hot hatch version even with 250. The third model in this review is the Godwit, a favorite of many. It started off as kind of a muscle car with an 8.5 liter V12 with 445 horsepower, with a release back in the early 70s, and then in the 80s it evolved more into a supercar, reusing the 1.5 liter V6 turbo we also used in our F1 endeavors, but reduced to 350 horsepower, but it was very lightweight and very performant. And then in the late 90s, early 2000s, the third generation appeared with a 3.5 liter V10, also turbocharged with 555 horsepower first, and then later on in the facelift this was raised to 800 horsepower. The next car we take a look at is the Bramble, the secret star of the brand, which really funded the expansion. It started off as a bit of an affordable pony car with a 3.6 liter inline 6 between 150 and 160 horsepower, which was also very popular in Group 2 touring car racing. And then with the second and third generation it really went into a mass-produced mid-range car. The second generation had the same 3.6 liter inline 6 with 160 horsepower, and the third generation then a 3 liter engine between 176 and 260 horsepower, and this one really sold more than 20 million cars. The 4th generation then, with a 2.5 liter inline 6, was a very good car, and a problem for the Cleres, which we will see next. The first 2 cars here were not even called Cleres, but they were part of the same model range, the Mark I and Mark II, with their 7.5 liter V12s. They both marked the start of the company, only aimed at the very high-end market. And then the 3rd generation was the first one to carry the name, and also the first one to get a V16 engine with 8 liters and 247 horsepower first, 285 later. And basically this engine setup was carried over until almost the end, with large V16 engines and smaller V12s through the boxy 2nd generation Cleres, the modern 3rd generation Cleres, and in the end the 4th generation, where the V12 was axed and it only had a 10 liter V16. So let's bring this to the end. The only thing we wanted to do is facelift the Bramble. The rest of the cars is pretty new, pretty much up to date, and doesn't need a rework before the end of the game, which is coming up very fast, 5 years until the game will end. Last year was pretty successful, 634 million of profit, so the year of stabilization in our finances, with a pretty even split between the Bramble and the Winley. So let's update the Bramble and maybe then it will be more successful again. We will also update the engine. It's our 2.5 liter inline 6. I think from the part choices itself, it's pretty good already. We can invest a little bit more quality just to make it better overall, and then fine tune it. Reliability is through the roof. Let's just get it up to 200 horsepower. Yep, and there we are. And what else do we want to do? I think we keep it advanced automatic, give it one more gear. Add the tiniest bit of quality in various places. A bit wider tires. And we have a little bit of brake fade here. We add more brake airflow, counteract that. And can we now finally go for the heads-up display? It's quite expensive and does not give a big advantage. So again, let's just add a bit of quality. And we can save a little bit of fuel by going to electric variable instead of variable hydraulic. Saved us 0.3 liters per 100 kilometers. Safety update, yes or no? Probably a no, just for 1 point. I don't do that. Add a point of quality here. And also suspension wise, we might stay where we are. Make it a bit lower to get the roll angle under control. And it has very nice wide spread. And let's do similar things for the other cars. Just the sport version with the turbocharged engine needs special treatment, I guess. Alright, and the sports version also gets an update, also to the engine. Already gained 14 horsepower. Twin turbo or no? I think we're fine with one. But we go for independent injection. That should boost stats overall and also throttle response. Yeah, 500 horsepower. Torque curve could look a bit nicer. Should this one get the dual clutch? It's probably too big of a change for a quick facelift, so I leave it with the advanced automatic. Also nothing too fancy here, and yeah, sitting quite nicely there. I really like how this one looks. And with this Bramble we're basically covering the whole market. It's really nice to see. So yeah, now we just can try to make it a bit quicker. 2 years. The factory here, nothing major. I will adjust my max shifts just in case they are requesting a lot of cars. And then we're basically done. Just have to select a few prices. So I will increase the deposit cost a little bit because it will eat into our profits if everybody goes for a new Bramble and doesn't buy the old Bramble anymore. We're basically at the limit of what we can sell. Yeah, looks good. No loan. Oh, god damn it. 3 billion? Yeah, the tooling was pretty much worn out, I guess. What do we do? Of the 3 billion, we have 1.3 in the bank. I know that I might run into trouble when we run into the heavy pre-orders and don't sell the cars properly enough anymore. So I'd probably go for 60%. And we also go for full repay. So we have 5 more years, that's 60 months. So I have to pay it back in 36. So that we are out of loans by the end of the game. It's also the shortest period I can choose here. 60% means about 2 billion. Happy with that. Ouch, I didn't think it would cost us so much. Okay, so we have 2 releases coming up. One of the new Cleres, one of the new Bramble. What's the old Cleres doing? Yeah, we have filled our stock already, the stock we wanted to have. So I need maybe to pause production manually at some point. It should already control it itself, but somehow it doesn't want to. At least the economy is booming right now. Still, we're making a nice profit. And it's still complaining about the old Cleres that the cars are not produced anymore. But they are. So the engines are produced somewhere. I don't know, there's some kind of bug here. So do we spend a little bit of that money on marketing? I guess. Where can we gain the most? Dalua and Ahana. Let's put it into Dalua because they actually have money to pay us. Yeah, still making a profit. So new Cleres is only a few months away. I think it is right that we are now running into a phase where we run out of engines because the engines are reworked. I chose a major factory upgrade for the V16 engine and we only use the V16 engine. That's why it needs such a major upgrade now. And yeah, we're out of stock except for the ultimate version. I have only 230 pre-orders. I paused the pre-orders now. And I still have 5 months of stock of the old ultimate version. So we're good and just need to wait for the new Cleres. And there we have it. New Cleres is there. It's selling nicely. Let's give it one more tick to get actually profits. Wow. That's, I think the Cleres never made such a profit. But of course, we have capacity to produce a lot, and we fulfilled 4,000 pre-orders. So 4,000 more than we actually sold. So these numbers will be a lot lower, around 50, 60, 80 million maybe. Till I upgrade my marketing a little bit. I think mostly in Hitvisio. Still huge profits. And the Bramble also is collecting like crazy. We should produce a bit more with the Bramble. Just to have a bit more stock. And 240,000 engines have an issue. High discovery chance. So yeah, when I go for the quiet. No, let's go for the full recall. Let's do it properly. Don't want my prestige to be damaged because it's not that high compared to reputation. Now we're losing money and it's still complaining. Oh, maybe I should finally kill the Cleres. And then it will stop complaining. So now we have 4 months of stock. That should bring us over this period of 5 or 6 months. The factory is offline. Yeah, now the factory is offline and we have 4 months left. And we're making profits because of it. And the Bramble will be there in 2 months. There it is, 3 more years to go. And oh god, this profit. Because we are also selling off the old ones, of course. And the new one is a lot cheaper than the old one. That's why we will be selling a lot higher numbers. I need to edit the factory shifts. No, it's fine. It will automatically work between 1 and 2 shifts. So let's wait 2 more months and then spend what we have left on marketing. Okay. Wow, the Bramble now is back to its 50% portion. But yeah, last time it still sold off old ones. 1 more month. And we're actually making a loss now. Cleres is overproducing massively. So let's cut that one back. Question is, which one is it? Is this one, the Car Factory 11? Let's go to 1 shift. We have stabilized it. Winley is also slightly overproducing, but that's fine. And the Bramble cannot yet fully keep up. Not really, no. The van is requested. And it got another boost basically by the release of the new Cleres, because probably it's more expensive, so they go more for the cheaper Bramble. And the Bramble is really cheap compared to the Winley. Yeah, we get a lot more car for the value here. So do we want to reduce the prices on the Winley? I guess so. This will cut into our margins, of course. And I think we can start spending money. We have 4 billion in the bank. Let's just max it out a bit more. Let's just take a quick look at our R&D. Not a lot is changing there anymore. About 7 tech pool everywhere except for interior, and we won't change that a lot. We will unlock standard safety 20s but not basic safety, which is fine. The rest is fully unlocked. Yeah, I expected a few losses now with our huge marketing budget of 790 million. We're also in a slight economic downturn again. I have still so many brambles left that I will now increase the maximum shift count to 2.5. Even if it wears down our factory. But we need to sell those. And I probably need to cut down on marketing again. Losing money quickly. Although our awareness here is really nice. Just a little bit back in Gasmia, because we have good coverage there already. And now money should almost be enough to get to the end. Still I need to cut down Cleres production and a bit of the Winley. And we are entering our last year. Yeah, reduced my spending by producing less cars. And we have broken through 7.5 million points. We can achieve the 8, I hope. And also we're making a profit again now. As the economy is recovering. Okay, I stop quickly 1 month before the end because the score will be not accurate in the final screen. So we end up at around 7.97 million points in the end. So we just didn't reach the 8 million points, unfortunately, but I'm still pretty happy with what we achieved. So let's wait for the final tick. Let's wait for the end screen. And there we are. We have made it until the end. It's 2020. It shows a different score here, but I'm fine with that. We have sold 95 million cars in the end. The Winley 2 seems to have contributed quite a lot to that, but also the 3rd generation Bramble wagon. This feels very special to me now that we have ended this. It was, for me personally, a huge success to expand my channel, to keep on creating videos on a somewhat regular schedule, to get all of your positive feedback and to interact with you. So thank you everyone for staying with me until the end. I'd like to spend a bit more time investigating a few numbers, seeing how many cars were sold of each model, so please stick around if you're also interested in that. So let's go into the review. And here we now can basically check out everything. Pressing this button here, we can also show all of the discontinued models. So we can go back all the way to 1946 and check out how many cars were sold of each. If you go into this number here where it says 0, because it's not produced anymore and sold, you can see all of the total historic sales. And I will now go through that and collect the numbers and make it a little bit more presentable to you, so that we don't have to go through all of the list together and just have the overview. And here it is, and I have to be honest, I was a bit surprised by the numbers, especially of the 3rd generation Bramble with 35 million cars, and also the 2nd generation Winley with 23 million cars sold. With those two we really crushed the market. In the later years the average sales numbers per year went down. This was mostly because we focused more on the higher end markets and also because of the big recession we were in. So this really hurt us. What I also like from this overview is that we can really see how we scaled up our production and how rapidly this also went. So we took a very aggressive approach. We took all the loans that we could get to get into larger factories as early as possible. And I'm really looking forward to how this approach may change and has to change in the new 4.3 version of the campaign, where the competitors are much more difficult, where we have to deal with emissions and where it will be just a lot harder. And with this I want to conclude this Let's Play of automation, and I want to thank you that you have stayed until the very end. You really helped this channel to grow. You really helped to keep me motivated to continue, and therefore we will continue with a brand new company. And if you don't want to miss a video, consider to subscribe. Consider also to like this video so that this Let's Play and also this game will be recommended to other people. Thank you very much in advance for that, and I hope to see you all again very soon. Have a good time. Bye bye.